And happy to have you on the platform, my guy. Finally made it happen.
Hey, I appreciate it, brother. How's it going, man?
Hey, man, just grinding, man. Conducting these interviews, man. That's the way of life for me.
So what do people call you? Art? Like how do people refer to you? Like I see different people do different things.
Yeah, you can call me Art. Most people call me Art, so you can rock with that.
Yeah, well, I would have assumed it might have been short for something, but all the dialogue, it has multiple meanings. So
Yeah, man, I'm glad to finally get you on the platform, man. I mean, your name been coming up a lot of my interviews, like I was telling you. So I'm happy we finally made it happen, man. And I was doing some looking, and I had no idea you had Cam, Junior Mafia, Charlie Baltimore. How was it like working with them, man?
I mean, it's kind of like two different parts to it. Because it was two different, I would say two different families in a sense. And I was sort of like the surrogate parent to it. When Big sort of we was both parents when he was here and when he passed, I sort of was like, the one who everybody sort of looked to provide, some sort of clarity to all of the madness that was going on. But it was dope, man. I mean, from the on Deer's perspective, I mean, me and Biggie sort of created this company, which originally started out as a marketing company. Undeas stood for, was sort of like ideas. So it was Undeas. So it started sort of like just this marketing idea, um, geared around ideas for between me and Biggie and, his career path with at the time it was Bad Boy Uptown. Um, in creating uh, a production company, which is a whole story in itself on how the group, the Junior Mafia, was created. There was 9 members in the group. Biggie was a contractual member to that group, as a solo artist away from Bad Boy. Um, and he also was the part owner in the company. So, it was our job, my job primarily was to help him use the brand of Junior Mafia to sort of help promote the Notorious Big. And that was sort of his plan. If you go back and you look at the history of how things was moving back then, there was a Bad Boy record which was juicy at the time, and then there was a Undeers record at the time which was Players Anthem. And the Players Anthem record came about because at one point Big was a little bit concerned about crossover records. He really wanted to Puff's credit, Biggie really wanted it to be some but Puff had a commercial ear and a commercial mentality in terms of selling records. So, but Big knew that he had to counterbalance that with the streets. So he was delivering, while Puff was doing Juicy, Biggie was like, "Niggas, grab your dicks if you love hip hop," right? So he was giving you all street bangers. Puff put out Big Papa, Biggie come back with Bitches Get Money. So there was a method to his balance in terms of the way he was positioning himself on the charts. So that's a whole nother nucleus as to how Big thought. But what's interesting, that now that we're talking about the inception, I sort of want to before I sort of go back to the past, I want to sort of discuss the present situation that's going on, primarily with um, the individuals who are suing Faith Evans post Miss Wallace's death, about the estate. And I'm like, this, it's been 30 years of me sort of being quiet in the sense of how the estate has been sort of operated and managed for the last 30 years. One, because like I said, once you understand the story, I sort of, my job back then was to advise Biggie on bad boy affairs, right? That's all I did, was just give him my input on Puff wants me to do this, Puff wants me to do that. What do you think? But my active day-to-day job was being his partner in the business that we were building, right? So no one else was privy to that except me and Big, because it was our business. I was his only official business partner. He was a bad boy artist, but when it came to his vision of record company, music business, fashion, the Brooklyn Mint, this is where I was his partner in all of these businesses. So now, fast forward, there's some people who are all really underlings of Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy has been sort of behind the scenes controlling this estate and the direction of what the brand should be, and really's been making all of the money, off the top, because of the music. And there's just things that are unfair to his children. They've been really suffering in a sense where everything that, from me looking on the outside, looking in, everything that they sort of wanted to do, I said, that's exactly what Big would have wanted for them, right? And give you an example about the marijuana business where both of his kids are in now. The people who are, who influenced Mrs. Wallace, God bless her, um, was thinking that it was a bad idea. And I'm saying, but Big would have wanted that. He would have told his kids, just make sure the weed is fire. You know what I'm saying? And these kids has been in the weed business before it took off in New York City. Like this hundreds of millions of dollars of weed business, they were in the forefront of it. And like I said, because it didn't benefit the powers that controlled the estate, the manipulation of the estate, they've now, got to play catch up in that business. You know what I'm saying? Big would have told his daughter, oh, you want to be in fashion? Here, take Brooklyn Mint and go for it, right? So it's just a lot of things, like the meta deal with Facebook I was a part of trying to negotiate it with Little Kim. The reason why Little Kim wasn't a part of it, because these people were full of shit. They were stealing all of the money for themselves. They were trying to underpay her. That's the reason why she's not a part of it. And then I'm saying, you can't promote a Biggie brand without the Junior Mafia, because that's what he created them for. He created them to help promote his brand. So now all of a sudden, everybody's taking money off the top. The movie, Puff gets all of the music money and the story money, and the meta. He's Avatar along with Biggie. You know what I'm saying? It's like now all of a sudden, you guys started working for him. Y'all came into business. as his interns. Y'all was given direction as his interns. You guys had nothing to do with his business outside of that. You know, you guys have managed the estate. Poor Miss Wallace, because she didn't know any of this, what was going on. You know, so and then past that, you bleed the family and didn't give anything back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you create a company called Ciroc. You could have gave Caesar $500,000 a year as an ambassador. You could have gave Kim her own alcohol and made her millions of dollars. You didn't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? And don't even get me to start talking about it. All of the other people was taking advantage of the situation. So it's just one of those things where I have to breathe now, because, like I said, Mrs. Wallace is at peace. And now is the time for people to understand that the Biggie's brand is for the entire world to enjoy, right? His legacy, everything that he helped to create, everything that he touched and helped brand, the, you know, kudos to the Locks, who still takes care of the mafia, and C's and Banger and Faith, and all of these people who have been loyal to Biggie, you know, and the people who were not loyal, the Jay-Z's and the Puffs, you know what I'm saying? Jay-Z, yeah, you you take advantage of the brand because you use all of Biggie's lyrics to sell all of these records, marketing between me and you, and you own the biggest touring company, but C's don't got no work. Kim ain't got no work. Banger has his own transportation a company. Why isn't he doing the tours? Like, you guys are full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all talk about y'all his big brother and all of this garbage, but all of his peoples, the people who he worked so hard to help out, you guys abandoned. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you could say whatever you want to say, but the brand will not, from this day forward, we don't need y'all. We don't need y'all because we could do it ourselves. Give it to the kids. The kids is old enough, faith in them. They know exactly what to do. The mafia, Kim and them, they know exactly what to do when it comes to that brand, how to promote that brand, how to market that brand. So all you other jokers, step to the side. Y'all done made all of the money. Y'all done stole all of the money from them. It's time to let it go. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, in saying that, we can now start this interview.
So you have an issue with Jay reciting Big lyrics. I remember you telling me off the record that Big would have had an issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was that competitive with those guys. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, in the beginning, there was a respect thing. Um, but what showed me that it was competitive as two rappers was, we paid Jay-Z to be on a Little Kim record, um, on her first album. And Jay-Z sort of dissed me and Biggie at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, if you listen to the record, Big Mama thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, it's a, you can't use my rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Like, Big was all the way hip hop. You know what I'm saying? He was all the way hip hop. When he said the line, my target, all you MCs who started rapping, he meant that. You know what I'm saying? So now, at the end of the day, And Jay knows this. He's not unaware of, man, I know I couldn't have got away with all this shit at this time. You know what I'm saying? But he's not here. You know what I mean? Like nobody else is the wiser. You know what I mean? Like, but in terms of, and this is only about hip hop. This has no, me and Jay, we have personal whatever, but this is in regards to Biggie and Jay and hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That he would have got at him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about especially on the level that he was doing it. You know what I mean? Like don't believe me. You know, your fans, your following is big and smart enough to go do the research. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if you're gonna stand on business and you're gonna stand on it all, do it all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, don't give C's a throwaway verse for his album. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you say, C's, I'm gonna give you a single where you're gonna make millions of dollars and set you up. Not give you a throwaway verse on your first album. I ain't charge you nothing, but it's a throwaway verse. It's nothing. It's not even a B-side verse. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things, like I said, are important to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like the camaraderie of hip hop. Like, no, we're not gonna be we're not gonna bite lyrics, and we're not gonna, yeah, all right, paying homage is one thing, but multiple times is now it's becoming disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? As a purist in terms of hip hop, you know what I'm saying?
So at the time of Big passing, how was Jay and Big relationship? Because Jay, he was on Life After Death, so I could imagine they was cool, right?
Man, listen, man, by the time, see what people don't really understand, like I said, this is a story, and I'm gonna try to be as detailed with it when Fulton Street comes out. But it's a story that weaves itself so much in and out of each other, you know what I'm saying, in terms of where the relationship was and how the relationship was building. At some point in their relationship, Big had thought upon himself, right? And people might question me about the timeline of, of where Jay was at in his career. But I do know for a fact that Jay-Z didn't graduate with Biggie, Tupac, and Nas. He sort of got left back, right? Because Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie, and Nas was selling million album, multiple million plus albums. Jay-Z's first album, he was struggling to go gold. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z didn't graduate. He graduated with Cam and DMX and Ja Rule in them. You see what I'm saying? In the conversation of the sophomore, the you know how Double XL used to do the freshman class. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you didn't make you're not on the freshman cover. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not on this year's freshman cover. But like I said, people will take it out of context, and I'm saying nah, because at the time, the same way Biggie promoted Junior Mafia and used Junior Mafia as a marketing tool, and the reason why I say that, because if you go back and do the history, and you know Biggie name dropped the name Junior Mafia before they were anything. Before they were even that considered of just C's and Chico. You know what I'm saying? His mans in them on Fulton Street, right? And he name dropped it so much that he started subliminally having people like Puff and them say it, right? In records, right? So now all of a sudden this group pops up and there's this major success, right? That is creates a Nas tell the story about, man, I had to create the firm because Biggie and them had Junior Mafia. So it was we was a competitive thing, right? And, I wanted Nas in the Mafia, right? So now all of a sudden it's time for Biggie to start thinking about what his next creative project is, right? And this is why I say that all weaved into the same story. At one time, once upon a time, we was at a video shoot for 112 Remix and the introduction of Mace through Biggie. Biggie was gonna help introduce Mace to the world on this remix, right? On that video shoot, Puff rose up and he has a record and it's called More Money, More Problems that he plays for me. So when I hear it, I say, yo, this should be your next single. Now, this would have been a follow-up single to the joint with him and Mace, where Jay-Z dissed Mace and said, you'll always be number two, right? All of a sudden, he says, tell Big that. So we walk over to Big and I say, yo, that should be Puff's next single. And Big say, nah, that's gonna be my second single. And I'ma break Puff as my artist. You now my artist. I manage you, right? So now he creates a project called The Commission, right? And in The Commission, he's helping Puff Daddy. He's helping Charlie Baltimore. He's going to help Jay-Z. People say, well, why would he need to help Jay-Z? If you follow me on the story, you'll understand what Jay-Z, how he needed not help, but I'm looking out for my man type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe in you and I want you to be down with my movement, right? So that's his next creative wave. I'm a part of the group as Uncle Paulie. You know what I'm saying? People get me confused with the other Uncle Paulie who was Puff Security, but I'm the Uncle Paulie that everybody know who Uncle Paulie is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a part of the group, probably on some advisory, financial, just whatever tip, right? And so now there's this Commission album waiting to happen, right? Now, what's interesting, and like I said, I could bounce all over the place, is that wouldn't it be so interesting to know that when after Big dies, Puff releases No Way Out. I mean, um, the record, and he makes it his first single off of No Way Out album. You know what I'm saying? That's More Money, More Problems is Puff Daddy featuring Mace and Biggie for the No Way Out album. But Big's wishes was for it to be for his second single. You know what I'm saying? And he knew it was supposed to be Big's second single, but he decided to make it his first single. Right? So this is the advantage that these dudes were taking, you know what I'm saying, all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, Biggie had a strategic plan for everything that he was doing. You know what I'm saying? So now when you take that, right, and you couple that with my intentions on, okay, now I know what Big's plan is moving forward, which is Cameron, Charlie Baltimore, I'm trying to get the Commission record done, right? After Big dies, right? So it's challenging because of Jay, right? And I'm saying, Well, this is if everybody says we want to do what Big wanted, this is what Big wanted. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's nothing out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, everybody seems to believe that they know what this dude wanted, and I knew verbatim what he wanted and how successful and where he wanted to go and how he wanted to help people and be supportive of people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, at once upon a time, Big was going to utilize his brand, which was multi-millions, Mafia, Little Kim, multi-millions, to now set up Jay-Z, Charlie Baltimore, and Puff Daddy. You know what I'm saying? So, it's where's the return favor in all of this? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about anything but to his crew. You know what I'm saying? Because if the tables were turned, Big would have been like, make sure Tata is good, make sure Emery is good, make sure his mom, everybody's good. You know what I'm saying? Here's some verses for them, whatever I need to do to set them up. And I'm like, there's, like I said, now there's no Miss Wallace. Look at what Un's doing. Un's all up in the business, and Miss Wallace sending me a message like, tone it down, and I'm like, nah, no more, no more. The truth, y'all gonna eat this truth. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna listen to. I'm gonna put a mirror in front of y'all, and y'all gonna listen. So.
I ain't know that. So Big, he was using the commission to break Jay.
He was, no, not just Jay. Like I said, Puff. He was gonna break Puff as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause Puff wanted to be an artist. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "You're my artist." He was like, "I manage you." You know what I mean? So, and there's all of these rumors about Biggie was gonna leave Puffy, and Biggie was gonna deliver his albums to Puff. His mandate to me was make me just as relevant and just as much money and just as much freedom to do what I want to do with my shit as Puff. And so when the Commission album came up, there was a discussion between me and Dame about where it was going to go, whether it was going to go on Undeers or Rockefeller. And Big and Jay decided that they was going to form their own label. That's what I know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm anybody else, they don't know because they weren't a part of his business life. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, me and Jay, we gonna start a label and we gonna put this Commission album through it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, him and Jay they was like that. And you say, well, they was on the record together, Brooklyn's Finest, right? And I'm gonna tell people that by the time these dudes was rapping at Nas and rapping at this person and subliminally beefing with this person and fighting that person, both Jay and Big, right? By the time they battled each other, they were battling each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't they wasn't rapping at no one else. They was trying to one up each other on that record. You know what I'm saying? That's what really made Big like, yo, this dude could really hold his own. Like, he really could stand up. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that Biggie believing that Jay was better than him is bullshit. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how a person could even assume that from respect to I think he better than me. Hell no. Hell no. Big's target is all you niggas who started rapping. Not except you. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, Lil C's tried to cripple me. His own man. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, hell no.